Oh, hey, I have a viewer. Nice. Cool. Did I post this? Yeah, I did. Okay. That link should work. Starting to get viewers rolling in. Yeah. I'm not going to take attendance, but if you want to chime in the chat with your version of the word yeah, then that would be cool. That would get the ball rolling. So I know who's here. Welcome, Grace. Thank you for coming out. Oh, Michael's here too. Hi, Michael. Get some brotherly action. I once went to see a little backstory on my life. I once went to see the musical Come From Away with Michael and Grace. Welcome, Charlotte. Long time listener, first time caller. I don't know. Oh, thanks, Katie. Yeah, I guess I could send this link in all sorts of places. I don't know. Not sure where else to share this. I could share it in some of my Facebook groups I'm a part of. That'd probably be good. Facebook group chats. That's what I mean. Group chats. That's the term for it. Okay. Oh wow, lots of yas rolling in the chat. Excellent. Thank you everyone for joining me. We'll get started at I don't know, 8, or once I hit a certain threshold of yas in the chat. Thanks everyone who's rolling in already. Let's see. 8:05, sure, I don't know. We'll start soon. Just gotta get the right number of people here. Okay, so as always, go ahead and start making your team names. 8:08. What's that? You want me to start at 8:08? I'd prefer to start closer to 8. Why do you need to start at 8:08? What are you up to? Here's what's new in my life is I shaved the other day, and I've been told I look much younger. But here's the thing, is the only person I've seen since shaving is Marie. And she was very alarmed. She was quite upset with me. She said that I looked like a changed man, and that I seemed like I was too young for her to be dating. So she's creeped out. She actually just messaged me. What'd she have to? Okay, she's just sending me jokes about the dog who lives upstairs. Excellent. Cool. There's a dog that lives upstairs with Marie, and sometimes she looks at us through the window and barks at us, which is good because it reminds me to stay in social isolation. Okay, so you all know the drill by this point, but for those of you who are joining me for the first time, here's how it works. So I'll ask some questions, some trivia questions, and you write them down on a piece of paper or on the internet, just not in the chat. That goes without saying. Please don't use the internet, which you are all currently on, to look up the answer, because that's less fun. You can play with friends who you are self-isolated with, like your roommates or your family or your partners. Or you can play with friends remotely via some sort of group chat or Google Doc where you share your answers and confer and decide on some final answers. Then I'll take up the answers. Today's format is going to be a little bit different in that I wrote fewer questions this time because it took a really long time last time. And also in that Marie is still at work, so there will not be a music round today because yeah, I didn't feel it was appropriate to do a music round without Marie. She's kind of like the musical star of this production. What kind of dog? Let's see. I'll write in the chat. All right. Butter is here also. Let me go get butter for you. I'm sorry. How rude of me. I will be submitting this. I will be sending out the score form at the end of the game today. So you submit all of your scores via this Google Doc. That's the new format I came up with, but not Google Doc, Google Form. But I'm only going to send that out, make that live at the end of the round. So you report your scores. So just keep track of how many points you earn in each round. Today's format, there's going to be 6 categories with 5 questions each, just like the popular game show Jeopardy! However, here's the twist. So I'm going to tell you the 6 categories ahead of time, and you get to choose a category to play something called the Joker. I've stolen this from King Card and Legion Trivia. This is how the Joker works, or your wild card, whatever you want to call it, is on one of the categories you can choose to either double down, which is whatever score you get on the category, you'll earn double the points. So for example, if you choose to double down on a category and you get 4 out of 5, then you would earn 8 points for that round. Or you can use it to take a free 5 points. So if you think one of the categories sounds like really difficult and you don't think you'd get like hardly any of them, then you can choose to take a free 5 points on that round. But you can only use this wildcard once, so you have to either choose to either double down on a category or take a free 5 points on a category. I'm going to write in the chat the names of the categories. Here are the 6 categories today. I'll write them in the chat. Let's see if I remember what they are, first of all. Okay. Category 1, sure. Category 2, flag. Category 3 is the guest created category. And choose. Category 4 is by popular demand, before and after. Category 5 is what did I call them again? Oh, great, cops. Category 6 and Roberts. Okay, so these are the 6 categories, each with 5 questions. And again, you get this special wild card, which is either double down to earn double points in a category, or take 5 points for category. So again, you each get 1 wild card today. These are the 6 categories that I'm going to be asking you questions from. And then at the end, final round, there will be 10 questions, 10 general questions at the end. So you'll be hearing 40 questions today, 6 categories of 5 questions each, followed by a final round. Let's see. Oh, it turns out I've got the categories out of order. I didn't read my own notes. Okay, that's fine. So category 1 is actually cops. Category 2 is Roberts. Category 3 and 4 are as they were. Yeah, you have to use the wild card before it starts. So actually, about everybody now, take a minute and decide what you want to use your wild card on. Actually, no, it's before each category you have the opportunity to submit. Yeah, that's how it's going to work. Before each category, I'll ask, does anyone want to play their wild card? Okay. And I've actually accidentally written the questions out of order. So it's actually cops and Roberts are first, and then capture the flag are actually at the end. You cannot use the double for the 10 round question because that would be too many points. All right, I'm going to get started now with category 1, which again, my notes were actually wrong. Category 1 is actually cops. Category 2 is and Roberts. Category 3 and 4 are as I wrote them, and then capture the flag are actually 5 and 6. So I wrote them kind of backwards. My mistake. I wasn't looking at my notes. Usually I have a second monitor because I usually have 2 laptops going, but Marie is still at work, so I don't have another laptop. Okay, so I'll go ahead. Can everyone say a yeah in the chat if you're ready to get started with round number 1, which is cops? And let me know if anyone wants to play either their double down or their free 5 points on the category cops. Now, just say it right before the category that you want to use it. You don't have to tell me preemptively what you want to use. Okay. Oh, hey, Kira. Welcome, Kira. Okay, let's get started then. I guess I have to toggle between my questions and the live chat. Okay, here we go. Okay, category 1, question 1, the category is cops. What actor, now known for playing a cop on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, previously won an Emmy for playing Detective Frank Pembleton in Homicide: Life on the Street? So again, this is category of cops. Okay. Question 1 again in category cops. What actor, now known for playing a cop on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, previously won an Emmy for playing Detective Frank Pembleton in Homicide: Life on the Street? Right. So again, confer either in person with your isolation mates or electronically with whatever friends you have on here. When I found Butter just now, her face was completely covered by this sock. But she looks to be smiling and well, so I'm not too concerned. I guess she's just going through a phase. I don't know. Okay. Question number 2 in the category cops. Ooh, I have some French in this. Oh, let's see if I remember how to speak French. I probably don't. Question 2. What organization, which recently celebrated its 100th anniversary, has Maintien le droit as its official motto? Thanks everyone for saying all these yeahs in the chat. Some history of this tradition of saying yeah in the chat is one time we were doing a live trivia stream, our first ever live trivia stream, and Quinn decided that everyone had to say yeah in the chat. And that's it. That's all that there is to this story. Question 2 again. What organization, which recently celebrated its 100th anniversary, has Maintien le droit as its official motto? Get that one written down, discuss that. Yeah, I'll spell the French stuff for you, because my pronunciation is garbage. All right. Going on to question number 3 of round 1, cops. Question 3. In the world of policing, what does the acronym SWAT stand for? And I've decided here that you need to get all 4 letters correct to get the point for this one. Thanks, Jonathan. Excellent. D+ is a pass in my book. I actually did quite well in high school French, despite never learning how to speak French, which is perhaps commentary on French language education. Okay, question 3 again. In the world of policing, what does the acronym SWAT stand for? And I've decided you have to get all 4 correct. All 4 words correct to get the point. Question number 4. Oh, darn, my connection is unstable. All right, let's hope I'm unfrozen. I'll try not to freeze for too long. Okay. Question 4 of this round number 1, which is COPS. Sorry for the confusion. The term COPS, C-O-P-S-E, refers to a small group of what? Question number 4 again. The term COPS, C-O-P-S-E, refers to a small group of what? That's the question. That's question number 4. Who knows where Maria is? She's probably like out and about. Okay, and final question of this first round, COPS, is question number 5. What 2007 cop film is the second installment in what is known as the Cornetto trilogy? So there's a series of 3 movies called the Cornetto trilogy. What is the second one in that trilogy? Again, question number 5. What 2007 cop film is the second installment in what is known as the Cornetto trilogy? All right. Let me know if you need any questions repeated. So sound off in the chat if you need to hear any of those 5 questions again. If not, I'll take up the answers. For those of you who don't know, I have this squash child named Butter. This is her. She has a lot of moods. This is her happy mood. Okay, any other questions need repeating in the chat? Just let me know. I'm going to repeat questions 2 and 3 as indicated. Okay. Question 2 again. What organization, which recently celebrated its 100th anniversary, has Maintien le droit as its official motto? And question number 3 again. In the world of policing, what does the acronym SWAT stand for? I've decided that you need to get all 4 words correct to get the point for this question. All right, take a few seconds to finalize your answers with your team, then give me a real quick yeah in the chat so I know you're ready to hear the answers. I'm glad Zoom is on the team. I enjoy cats. Okay, got some yeahs starting to roll in. Good, excellent, good. Who's this goo bajoo who keeps showing up in the chat? I know the rest of you, but I have no idea who boo boo badoo is. My favorite memory of Zuma the cat is probably when I saw her in the sink one time. That was funny. All right, I guess we're just waiting for Leah. Give Leah 30 seconds. Does anyone else have any favorite pet moments? Let's what was everyone's first pet's name? Just kidding, I'm just fishing for your security details for online banking. Don't say your first pet's name in the chat. I repeat, do not say the name of your first pet in the chat. Okay, Leah's on the clock. I'll give her 20 more seconds. Don't say the name of the guinea pig, Michael. That's the answer to my online banking. Okay. Question. Here come the answers for round one. Again, mark your own or have a friend mark it. I don't really care. Just use the honor system. Be honest with yourselves. Question number one of Cops. What actor, known for playing a cop in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, previously won an Emmy for playing Detective Frank Pembleton in Homicide? That was a guy named Andre Braugher. He plays Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Andre Braugher is the answer. Question number two. What organization just turned 100 years old and has that French phrase as its motto? It's a Canadian organization called the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP for short. Question number two, RCMP. Question three, what does the term SWAT stand for? You need to get all four words correct. Special Weapons and Tactics. SWAT means Special Weapons and Tactics. Question number four, a little bit of a twist on my part. The term COPS, C-O-P-S-E, refers to a small group of trees. A copse is a small group of trees. All right, and finally, what 2007 cop film is the second installment of what is known as the Cornetto trilogy? That is Hot Fuzz. The Cornetto trilogy are a series of 3 movies starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. The first one's Shaun of the Dead, and then Hot Fuzz, and then something about the World's End. I think it's just called The World's End. All right, so give yourselves a score out of 5 for that one. When you're ready, give me a yeah so I can know to move on to the next category, which is round two is called Roberts. So I decided that trivia is a game, so my themes today are like games. So it's like Cops and Roberts. It's like a game. And then the other rounds later are Capture and The Flag, which is another little reference to a childhood game that some of us may have played. All right, here we go for round number 2, which is called And Roberts. The answers will all have to do with people named Robert or Roberts or some nickname derived from the name Robert. You know, you get the picture. You've all seen Jeopardy before. Question number 1 of round 2. Who plays the babysitter Grace in 2010's Valentine's Day, a movie that also stars her more famous aunt? Aunt or aunt? Maria says aunt. I say aunt. People in the East Coast say aunt. It's a debate will rage on for ages. Question number 1 again of round 2. Who plays the babysitter Grace in 2010's Valentine's Day, a movie that also stars her more famous aunt? Auntie, interesting. Auntie is a term from poker that often comes up in crossword puzzles. Here's some pictures of cats. I still haven't eaten dinner. I have it on the stove. I should probably go check on it at some point. Oh well, I'm doing this. Question 2 of round 2. Perhaps the less famous Kennedy assassination. Robert Kennedy was killed by a young Palestinian man, allegedly over his support for Israel in what 1967 conflict? Oh, I don't even think Quinn's in the chat, and I'm asking a Kennedy assassination question. Butter firmly believes there was a second shooter. She is convinced, and I can't tell her otherwise. Question number 2 again. Perhaps the less famous Kennedy assassination. Robert Kennedy was killed by a young Palestinian man, allegedly over his support for Israel in what 1967 conflict? Yeah, exactly. We all need a friend on the grassy knoll. Which is a line from the song New Friends by The Simulations. Yeah, name the conflict. Yes, name the 1967 conflict. So again, you're naming the 1967 conflict that allegedly led to the assassination of Robert Kennedy because he supported the wrong side. All right. Question number 3 of round 2. With 43 wins in 61 appearances, who is the winningest chef on Iron Chef America? Remember, the category is Roberts. So some of the questions have Robert in the question. Some of them have Robert or something like that in the answer. Question 3 again. With 43 wins in 61 appearances, who is the winningest chef on Iron Chef America? Thank you everyone for coming out to support this live stream. I was thinking it was going to be a down night because unfortunately Anjo and the Absolute Honeys couldn't make it out tonight, but no, it seems to be doing okay so far. Yeah, feel free to sound off in the chat your support of Anjo and the Absolute Honeys. I'm sure they would appreciate it. Question number 4 of category 2, Roberts. This one is a hockey question, sports. Got to get my sports in there. Question 4. Best known as a Boston Bruin, Bobby Orr played his final injury-filled seasons for which other Original Six NHL team? Presumably they're at home or in isolation. I hope they're not in northern Italy. That would be bad. Question number 4 again. Best known as a Boston Bruin, Bobby Orr played his final injury-filled seasons for which other Original Six NHL team? And if you don't know the answer, that's fine. I only learned this today. You can just guess the name of a hockey team because presumably you know the name of at least one hockey team. For example, I played for minor hockey team in Kincardine, Ontario as a child. Our team was orange. Those were our jerseys. And I wanted to name the team the Pylons. But our coach vetoed the decision because he said that that would make our team sound weak. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Question number 5 in the category Roberts. The 2007 biopic I'm Not There stars Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Kate Blanchett, sorry, not Keith Blanchett, Kate Blanchett, and 3 other actors as what reclusive musician? So we're looking for the name of the musician. Question number 5 again. The 2007 biopic I'm Not There stars Christian Bale. Heath was one of Heath Ledger's final films before he's discontinued to be alive. Heath Ledger was also in the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, which I watched on my birthday in the year 2015. That was my 22nd birthday. I watched it with Spencer and Maddie in their living room of their student house. Question number 5 again from Michael. The 2007 biopic I'm Not There stars Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, Kate Blanchett, and 3 others as what reclusive musician? All right. And that's the end of category 2, Roberts. Let me know if you need to hear any of those 5 questions again, and I'll take them up once you've said a sufficient number of yeahs in the chat. Here's Butter. She's still doing good. All right, I'll wait till I get like 3 more yeahs, and then I'll sound off with the answers. Oh, Lolo with the interesting spelling of yeah. You accidentally spelled it as yep. So I guess the P makes a different pronunciation. All right. Here come the answers to round number 2, Robert. Question number 1. Who plays the babysitter Grace in Valentine's Day, a movie that also stars her more famous aunt? Her more famous aunt is Julia Roberts. The answer we're looking for here is Emma Roberts. Emma Roberts. Question number 2. Robert Kennedy was killed allegedly for supporting... He wasn't allegedly killed. He did actually die. But the reason allegedly was that he supported Israel in the 6-Day War. The 6-Day War, or June War, or Third Arab-Israeli War. Just fire off this question to Kate, because I guess she's having trouble with it. I would accept... Okay, here's the options. So it says the 6-Day War or the June War, or, and this is to answer Grace's, it's the Third Arab-Israeli War specifically. The Third Arab-Israeli War. So you could give yourself the point. I don't really care. You could have give yourself a half point, full point. I don't really care. It's the 6-Day War or the June War or the Third Arab-Israeli War. Question number 3, who's the winningest chef on Iron Chef America? This is Robert Flay. Robert Flay, otherwise known as Bobby Flay. Question number 4, what team did Bobby Orr play for his final few seasons? He played a few games for the Chicago Blackhawks, the NHL's Chicago Blackhawks, one of their original 6 teams. And question, yeah, that was just for you, Kira. You're welcome. And question number 5, the movie I'm Not There, which stars 6 different actors as which reclusive musician? They all play different versions of Bob Dylan, Robert Dylan. He's so reclusive that he didn't even go to accept his Nobel Prize, which he won. A little fun trivia fact for you. Heath Ledger won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor posthumously. You're not allowed to win a Nobel Prize posthumously. One of the rules is you have to still be alive. All right, self-report your scores, write them down, keep them in a notebook or on a piece of paper. And then we'll be hitting you up with round number 3 shortly, which is our user-submitted round. This was created by last week's winners. Our last place contestant last week was Melissa, and she chose the topic of pi, P-I. The team has chosen, though, to interpret it creatively as this category, which is round. If you're familiar with Jeopardy rules, the P-I in quotation marks means that each one of these answers begins with the letters P-I. And I'll give you a hint. None of the answers are just the word pi. So they have departed a little bit from Melissa's intent, but I guess that's what happens sometimes. All right. Oh, yeah, don't forget, you're allowed to use your double down or your take 5 free points whenever you'd like. So go ahead, say whether you want to do that, and give a yeah in the chat when you're ready to begin. And I'll get started with round 3. I'm going to take a short intermission after round 3. Then I'm going to do rounds 4, 5, and 6. Then another short intermission. And by short, I mean like a couple of minutes. I just need to check on my dinner and make sure it's not burning. And then there's a final 10-question round to round out the day. If anyone figures out who Doo-Doo Badoo is, let me know. Doo-Doo Chatu. I'm making chana masala because I'm very ethnically cultured. All right. I'm going to change the margins on this so that I can see everything better. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Oh, that's Michael is Gooboo to do. All right. Question number 1 of the round, pick and choose. Remember, all the answers start with the letters P-I. Question 1. Once referred to as a pickpack in the 16th century, this childhood activity likely doesn't have any farmyard origins. Yes, Gooboo is all of us when you really think about it deep down. So they've written these in the style of Jeopardy questions. So they're not really questions, they're just statements. You just say an answer. You don't have to answer in the form of a question because I am not pretentious that way. I mean, I am pretentious. I'm just pretentious in other ways. Like my vest culture. I love this vest. Question 1 again. Once referred to as pickpack in the 16th century, this childhood activity likely doesn't have any farmyard origins. Remember, all the answers start with P-I. Question number 2 of pick and choose. American Gothic by Grant Wood features a daughter and father wielding this object. In actuality, the father figure was Grant's dentist. That would be quite surprising to find out that your dentist was actually your father. Luckily, my father knew nothing about teeth, though he had many. One time he had to get like a skin graft on his gums, some sort of gum surgery because his gums were receding. Question 2. American Gothic by Grant Wood features a daughter and father wielding this object. In actuality, the father figure was Grant's dentist. So we're looking here for the name of the object that the farmer or father or whatever it is, father was wielding, not yielding. Question number 3 in pick and choose this pie round. Question number 3. A single bacterium of E. coli has approximately this weight. Everyone sound off in the chat with what your favorite bacteria is. E. coli is not a bad one. I mean, it can be quite bad, quite dangerous if it's pathogenic, but you know what I mean. Question 3 again. A single bacterium of E. coli has approximately this weight. Question number 4. This snackable food was once commonly dyed bright red to cover blemishes that resulted from the harvesting process. Question 4 again. This food was once commonly dyed bright red to cover blemishes that resulted from the harvesting process. All right, and finally, question number 5. The longest science experiment in history has been going on since 1930, and it concerns how slowly this viscous substance can drip into a jar. Over 90 years, only 9 drops have fallen. So they're looking for the name of the viscous substance. So I'll read it all again. The longest science experiment in history has been going on since 1930, and it concerns how slowly this viscous substance can drip into a jar. Over 90 years, only 9 drops have fallen. So I don't know, do the math. That's like 1 drop every some number of years. So here's how I imagine the setup. There's like a jar, and there's this substance, which is the answer to the question above, and they just leave it. And they've left it for 90 years. All right, let me know if you need any questions repeated. If not, sound off with a yeah in the chat when you're ready, and I'll take up the answers. This round was chosen by Melissa, so make sure you say a big thank you to Melissa in the chat. And they're not here right now, but last week's winners, Anjo and the Absolute Honeys, which featured Anjo, Jordan, Alex, Jamie, and Rachel. They wrote these questions, so make sure you thank them. Okay, question 1 again. Once referred to as pick-pack in the 16th century, this childhood activity likely doesn't have any farmyard origins. Question 4 again. This food was once commonly dyed bright red to cover blemishes that resulted from the harvesting process. So instead of saying, yeah, say a big thanks, Melissa, in the chat to thank her for picking such a lovely category. And if you see them either online or ever again in person, just say a nice big thank you to Jordan, Anjo, Alex, Jamie, and Rachel for writing these questions for us. If you would like to write a round of trivia, all you have to do is win tonight, and I will guarantee you that, give you that honor, 100%. All right. Sounds like people are ready to hear the answers. I don't hear any objections. So here come the answers to round number 3, pick and choose. Okay. Question 1, what was once referred to as pickpack, and it doesn't have any farmyard origins. This is the game or the activity piggyback. Piggyback. Question 2, what is the father holding in the painting American Gothic by Grant Wood? He is holding a pitchfork. Pitchfork. Question 3, a single bacterium of E. coli weighs approximately a picogram. 1 single picogram. It's like a gram, but pico. Not to be confused with pico de gallo, which is a very small amount of chicken. Or rooster, that's it. Question 4. This food used to be dyed bright red to cover blemishes. Those are called pistachios. I have an idea for like the most inconvenient potluck where everyone has to bring very difficult to eat foods. One of them would be the pistachios that are not open nearly enough to open. Other fun foods would include pomegranate or crab legs. Sound off in the chat. What's the hardest food to eat? Discussion question. And finally, that really long science experiment about a viscous substance dripping into a jar. The viscous substance is called pitch. Whatever that is, it's called pitch. That's the answer to question 5, pitch. Oh, lettuce wrap tacos are difficult to eat. All right, I'm going to take a quick 1-2 minute break to wash my hands and to turn off the stove. In the meantime, everyone continue to discuss today's discussion question, which is, what is the hardest food to eat? I have not once in my life ever tried to eat a live lamb. Sea urchin sounds interesting. All right, say a yeah if you're ready to get started again with round number 4. This is before and after. And again, if you want to play your double down or your take free 5, you can do that at the start of a round. Yeah, I'll elaborate on my flag category. I'm not going to show you pictures of flags. I'm just going to ask you questions about flags. They might be country flags. They might be sub-national flags. Just any flag. I essentially just looked up interesting things about flags. And I wrote 5 questions based on what I learned. It's important when you're stuck at home to try to learn new things, keep your brain sharp. Here's a thing that I learned, is that this variety of banana is called a Cavendish banana. There's many types of apple, but this is the only kind of banana, Cavendish banana. That's a possibility. I might choke on this banana. And Marie is not here. Luckily, this is a hot tip for all of you out there. That's why people have children, is in case they choke on a banana, they have a child to do the Heimlich maneuver on them. So I'm confident that if I choke, butter will save me. Bunch of nerds in the chat. All right. In terms of this like double down business, you're only allowed to use it once, but just use the honor system. You're supposed to use it before the round begins. I don't really care as long as you're honest about your score. Okay. Question 1 of before and after. So again, if you're familiar with Jeopardy, this is a common Jeopardy category. Like if I said, a Western movie actor who wore number 99 in hockey, the answer would be John Wayne Gretzky. So the answer we're looking for is John Wayne Gretzky, which is my favorite trivia team name because it sounds like John Wayne Gacy, who was a serial killer. Okay. Question 1 of before and after. A Montague, a Capulet, and so forth. Here comes question 1 again of before and after. A Montague, a Capulet, and so forth. These aren't really questions, more so just like sentences or phrases that I put together wherein the implied answer is a before and after. I start eating my bananas with this part at the bottom when I open them. It's something I do. Yeah. Before and after. Here's an explanation again. Like if I said like, well, I have bananas on my mind. So if I said like, fast fashion clothing store, which shares an island with the United Kingdom, the answer might be Banana Republic of Ireland. It's like Banana Republic. It's a clothing store, Republic of Ireland. Hey, can everyone say hello to Marie? She's back from work.
Hello.
I'm not going to touch her because she's been out in public, but I'm happy that she's home.
I mean, the good news is that I didn't come into contact with that many people.
That's good.
Because, 80% of Sanofi is gone.
How was your day?
It was okay. It was really busy.
Yeah, this is really late. Maria left before the sun was even up this morning. Oh, everyone's yelling hi, Maria, in the chat.
Hi. Yeah.
There's so many fans.
I was on site at 7:15.
That's so early.
What did I do at work today? I took inventory, a bunch of equipment that we have to decommission. I ran some forms around. I worked on a report.
Mm-hmm.
Had a meeting.
This is literally all I've done today, so
that is okay. I am so freaking hungry.
Yeah, in the blue pot out there, there's chana masala. It should be done now. I just turned it off. And there's leftover rice in the fridge from yesterday. So heat it up. If there's any leftover, can you heat some for me too? Thanks.
Take a shower.
Yeah. Yeah, you should bathe off those germs. Yeah. Okay. Question 2 of before and after. Classic Beatles song about zinc oxide. I tried to make these a little bit more vague than last time. Some of them are trivia related. Some of them are just vaguisms, but.
So if I stand past this pot, people can't see that I'm changing? Putting my.
Do you want me to turn this way?
Cool. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, what if they see your reflection in your TTC poster?
That is okay.
That's okay, question 2 of before and after. Classic Beatles song about zinc oxide. Are you okay? Are you stuck in your sweater? Those are nice new jeans. I like them.
Thank you.
Question 3 before and after. 13 billion years ago, East Pakistan was created.
Yeah, not only might I be live with COVID, I'm literally live with tetanus.
Yeah, we forget about all these other dangers of the world.
Tetanus fermentation rate.
Tetanus is scary too. Question 3 again. 13 billion years ago, East Pakistan was created. The Baha men order a bloomin' onion. Here's a list of people who said hi to you. In order, so you know who has the fastest internet. Michael, then Grace, then Gudu Bidu. I don't know that. Jacqueline Watt. You met her at that cool house we stayed in.
Yeah, I remember.
Maddie Baker, Katie, Kira,
Damn.
Melissa, Charlotte.
Good stuff.
Leah, Kate.
Hi. Hello all. Thanks for welcoming me home. Appreciate it.
Question 5 of Before and After. It turns out Marshall and Sky are all left-handed. Question number 5 again. It turns out Chase, Marshall, and Sky are all left-handed. I guess I don't really need my headphones because no one's saying anything. Don't worry, I'll say them all again. All right, here they come all again. Number 1, a Montague, a Capulet, and so forth. Number 2, classic Beatles song about zinc oxide. Number 3, 13 billion years ago, East Pakistan was created. Number 4, the Baja men order a bloomin' onion. And number 5, it turns out Chase, Marshall, and Sky are all left-handed. All right. Give you some time to think about it if you need. Write them down. Then just sound off in the chat with a yeah or ready, whatever you want to indicate your preparedness to hear the answers. Here's a fun science experiment you can try. Is if you rub on a banana peel, they're really not. If you really rub the inside for a long time, it becomes quite slick. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, if you rub that part there, it becomes quite slippery. Yeah, that must be what's creating the slippery effect that banana peels are famous for. Maria is sending messages to this group chat, but she's also in the bathroom, so presumably she's using her toilet on her phone on the toilet. Or in the bathtub. She does like to take baths. All right. Yeah, in the chat when you're ready. For a bit longer. Okay, I'll put you on the clock. I don't know. Take some amount of time. Once we get enough yeahs in the chat, then what the max level you've reached in Candy Crush is. She just crossed the 1,000 threshold the other day. Number 5 again. It turns out Chase, Marshall, and Sky are all left-handed. Yeah. Just say what's the maximum level you've reached in Candy Crush. When you get the chance. You're probably working on this trivia that I asked you, so that's fine too. You can do that. Say some yeahs when you're ready. I think it's been a minute since I said a minute, so. Okay, once we get 2 more yeahs, then we'll start. Montague and Capulet, those are the families in Romeo and Juliet. And so forth is etc. The answer we're looking for is Romeo and Juliet, etc. As Kate will be quick to point out in the chat, C made a k sound back in Latin pronunciation, but I'm not. I don't speak Latin, and nobody does. all means and so forth. I think it means something else. I think it means and others. Yeah, versus etc. means and so forth, based on my research that I did this afternoon. I don't think the Pope speaks Latin. Question 2. Classic Beatles song about zinc oxide. Zinc oxide is a type of sunscreen. The answer we're looking for is Here Comes the Sunscreen. Etc. means and other similar things or and so forth. I don't really care. Give yourself the point if you want. All right. Question 3. 13 billion years ago, East Pakistan was created. This is the Big Bangladesh. The Big Bangladesh. Question 4. The Baja Men order a bloomin' onion. Bloomin' onion is the signature dish of Outback Steakhouse. This is Who Let the Dog and down on a piece of paper or a computer. And let me know when you're ready for round number 5. Round 5 is called Capture. So let me know when you're ready for that round. In the chat. Number 5, South Paw Patrol. Hi, Zuma. Capture. Let me know when you're ready for round 5. So there's 2 more of these rounds and then a final round that has 10 questions where you can try and catch up if you're behind. But you cannot use your double down on this one. Sorry, you can't use your double down. Your double down on this one or not. This is called Capture, and the last round is called The Flag. All right. 5, question 1. Who was captured by Officer Nick MacDonald during a showing of the 1963 film Cry of Battle? I made this category just so that I could include the phrase capture the flag, which is the name of a game. Question 1 again. Who was captured by Officer Nick MacDonald during a showing of the 1963 film Cry of Battle? Right. So I think it was Disney already made the Jungle Book live action version. So then Andy Serkis made this film called like Mowgli, Call of the Wild or something like that. Anyway, who does he play in the movie? Question 2 again. Despite a live action remake already existing, motion capture star Andy Serkis made his own version of the Jungle Book in 2018. What character does Serkis play in the movie? Hey, sorry, you're on camera briefly. I'll move it like this. You're not naked. You have a towel. Question 3 of the round, Capture. No, I turned the camera.
at all.
They shouldn't be able to see you.
Cool.
Uh,
I'm bleeding so naked.
Yep.
Over here.
Yep. Should I look? No, I'll look away.
Yeah.
Modesty.
My modesty.
Yeah, I know. We're not married or anything. Voted by Time Magazine as the... Sorry, this is question number 3 of the round. Voted by Time Magazine as the second most influential picture of all time, Malcolm Brown's Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph captures a Buddhist monk performing what act? It's kind of a wordy one. Essentially, it's just saying there's a famous picture of a Buddhist monk doing something. What was he doing? Question number 3, again, in all of its wordiness. Voted by Time Magazine as the second most influential picture of all time, Malcolm Brown's Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph captures a Buddhist monk performing what act? What was this guy doing? Caught on camera. How does capture tie in? He captured the photo. Gosh, Grace. Every time I search capture, it was all these things, but like... Question 4. Here's another capture question that you're going to love, particularly if you are a chess fan. I myself am very bad at chess. Question 4. In chess, what is the term for the special type of pawn capture that is denoted as EP? If you don't know at all, just guess anything that EP could stand for. The inspiration for his novel Slaughterhouse-Five did Kurt Vonnegut witness firsthand after being captured by German forces at the Battle of the Bulge. That was where he was captured. Kurt Vonnegut is Alex's favorite author, and unfortunately... All right. Here comes question 2 again. Question 2. Despite a live-action remake already existing, motion capture star Andy Serkis made his own version of The Jungle Book in 2018. What character does Serkis play in the movie? All right. And question 5 again. What 1945 historical event, the inspiration for his novel Slaughterhouse-Five, did Kurt Vonnegut witness firsthand after being captured by German forces at the Battle of... Number 3 again. Voted by Time Magazine as the second most influential picture of all time, Malcolm Brown's Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph captures a Buddhist monk performing what act? Just sauce. And number 5 again. What 1945 historical event, the inspiration for his novel Slaughterhouse-Five, did Kurt Vonnegut witness firsthand after being captured by German forces at the Battle of the Bulge? Say a yeah in the chat when you're ready to hear the answers. I don't know how... I made it. Thank you. For those of you playing by yourselves and wondering why it takes so long, it's because some people are playing together on Teams via group chats and like Google Docs, where they're like conferring on all their answers. There, dude, we could really see me.
Oh yeah.
She was just looking at me and just barking up the
Dubu
storm.
hasn't figured out the whole like window thing.
Yeah, I don't think she gets it.
Pretty complex stuff.
Oh, can everyone say hi to Quinn in the chat?
I'm doing.
I don't know.
My company's been like sought out now by like all these other like manufacturing places like GE, because they're starting to manufacture like pharmaceutical and like medical devices, and that's like what we.
Shit. Does anyone want to see Mario drink? This is what it looks like. Okay. Here come the answers to round number 5, capture. Quinn, stick around for this one at least. Question 1. Who was captured by Officer Nick McDonald during his name is Lee Harvey Oswald? Question is, what happened to his friend? Don't know. Did Andy Serkis play in his own version of The Jungle Book in 2018? He played...
Sorry. Strong opinions later.
Hot take. Malcolm Brown, question 3, Malcolm Brown's Pulitzer Prize-winning photograph captures a Buddhist monk performing what act? The monk was burning himself alive, or if you know the special term for it, self-immolation. He was doing self-immolation. Number two was Baloo. Number 4, in chess, what type of pawn capture is denoted as EP? It's called en passant. Or, I don't know if my French is good, but it's spelled like this. En passe? I don't know how you say it. En passe. After he was captured, he witnessed the firebombing of Dresden. 2 questions about fire in this round. Interesting. The answers are Lee Harvey Oswald, Baloo the bear, self-immolation, or burning himself alive, en passe, and firebombing of Dresden. Excellent play. I don't know the context of the situation. And also, I know nothing about chess, whether or not moves are good or bad. All right, give yourself a score out of 5. And say yeah when you're ready for round 6. Round 6 is called the flag. They're not. The liberation of Auschwitz is the same thing as the firebombing of Dresden. I believe that they are nowhere near the same thing, but I'm not a history teacher. So, John, you are the expert. Is the liberation of Auschwitz the same thing as the firebombing of Dresden? I would guess no. So those 2 things are not the same. Okay. Last category before our final 10-question round. Okay. Here is the category in the flag. These questions are about flags. I don't know how hard or easy they are, but we'll see. There's fun facts I learned about flags. Question number 1. Lots of them have stripes, but what is the only Canadian provincial or territorial flag to have a star on it? This is like a Canadiana question. How much do you know about Canada? Question number 1 again. Lots of them have stripes, but what is the only Canadian provincial or territorial flag to have a star on it? you finish the wine?
No,
Mm,
it's
well,
in progress.
can I have some?
Yeah, you won't like it.
I liked it a little bit the other day. It's better than boxed wine. Question 2 in this flag category. What country's constitution provides step-by-step instructions on how to draw their national flag using only a compass and a ruler?
Oh, shit.
No, their flag's really easy to draw. You don't need a ruler for that.
I'd like to see you draw a perfect,
I know. I'm saying
Without a
a
compass and a
compass
ruler?
is required.
and you have to put it directly in the middle.
That's true. That part probably requires a ruler.
So it makes
Question
a lot of sense.
2. What country's constitution provides step-by-step instructions on how to draw their flag using only a compass and a ruler? I don't know if it's a constructible polygon because it includes other shapes. Question 3 in this flag category. At the 1936 Olympics, Liechtenstein realized that their flag was identical to the flag of which Caribbean country? As a note, their flags are still the same colors, but now have crests on them to differentiate the two flags. That would be embarrassing, showing up at the Olympics before the internet existed and realizing your national flag was exactly the same as another country. Question 3 again. At the 1936 Olympics, Liechtenstein realized that their flag was identical to the flag of which Caribbean country? Their flags are still the same colors as each other, but now have unique crests on them to keep them different. Question 4 in the flag category. What group of Pacific islands had a modified version of the American flag? Has a modified version of the American flag with black stars representing islands that the Americans destroyed in the 1950s. Question 4 again. What group of Pacific islands has a modified version of the American flag with black stars representing islands that the Americans destroyed in the 1950s? So we're looking for a group of Pacific islands. They're not their own independent country. They're a group of islands within a country. And question number 5, in this roundabout flags. What country's national flag features 4 black trigrams to represent the 4 classical elements? Supposedly those being earth, air, fire, and water. Question 5 again. What country's national flag features 4 black trigrams to represent the 4 classical elements? Let me know if you need to hear any questions again. And I will repeat them, then I'll say what the answers were. This turned out pretty well.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, you like it? Is there much left? I can make more rice for tomorrow if you want.
Yeah, there's a lot of chickpeas left.
All right. Do you have to go in tomorrow?
In the afternoon, yeah.
Okay. You need to bring a lunch. I can make more rice and pack your lunch for lunch.
I could probably eat lunch here.
Okay.
And then go.
Okay. Are there any questions you need repeated? Say them in the chat. Okay, question number 5 again. What country's national flag features 4 black trigrams to represent the 4 classical elements? Say yeah in the chat when you're ready to hear the answers. Then I will say the answers out loud.
I love you too.
Have another swig.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh shit! I think the LCBO might be closed after tomorrow. We should go and stock up.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'll have to make our own. Get the SCOBY put to work.
It's not alcoholic enough.
All right, Leah, let me know when you're ready. I'll start once Leah says yeah in the chat. Oh, Charlotte says that the LCBO is an essential service.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's great news. Doctors and nurses need alcohol more than ever.
Yeah. For sanitization.
Exactly.
Leah, are you ready?
Insanity.
Sorry?
Sanitization and sanity.
Is that a phrase that people are using? You just made it up? That's a Marnieism? Nice. Okay. I'm seeing some yes, so might as well read the answers, because I don't want to be here all night. Neither do any of you, presumably. Otherwise, I'd question your motives. Okay. Here come the answers, whether or not Leah is ready. Question number 1. What is the only Canadian provincial or territorial flag to have a star on it? There's a star on the flag of Nunavut. Nunavut has like an Inukshuk in the middle, but there's a star on the side. Question number 2. What country's constitution provides step-by-step instructions on how to draw their flag using only a compass and a ruler? The reason they have these instructions is because their flag is a little bit tricky. It is Nepal, the only non-rectangular flag out there. Nepal gives step-by-step instructions on how to draw the flag. What does the flag of British Columbia look like? Okay. What about BC? The sun is a star. I'm going to say no, because you're being pedant. No, that does not count. You get 0 points if you said BC. Question number 3. What flag turned out to be the same as Liechtenstein? It was Haiti. Haiti and Liechtenstein had the same flag exactly. No, you do not get the point. Don't give yourself a point because you are not cultured and you don't know the flag of Nunavut, which very clearly has what any reasonable person would call a star on it. Haiti has the same flag as Liechtenstein. Question 4. What group of Pacific islands has a modified version of the American flag with black stars representing the islands that Americans destroyed in the 1950s? They destroyed it with their nuclear tests. This is the Bikini Atoll. Bikini Atoll has a modded version of the American flag with black stars to symbolize that America fucked shit up in their country. In question 5, what national flag has 4 black trigrams to represent the 4 classical elements? This is South Korea. South Korea, they have those 4 trigrams that surround the central thing in the middle. All right, give yourselves a score of 5. If you said BC for question number 1, that is worth 0 points. The answer is Nunavut, because Nunavut very clearly has a star on the flag, and it was not a trick question. Yeah, that's legend goes that that's the origin of the name Bikini Bottom, is that it's in the Bikini Atoll, and that's why the things there are sentient. Why there's like sponges and sea stars that are sentient. Here from context, it's clear that I referred to star, meant star, not in the scientific or astronomy sense, but in the vexillological sense, because this is a category about vexillology. Okay, take a quick break. I'm going to fill up my water, and then I'll be back, and then we'll do the final round, which is 10 questions. I'll try and wrap them off real quick. You can report your current scores if you want to know where you are relative to other people. I don't really care how you keep your scores, other than the fact that BC does not earn you a point in that last round. Okay, I'm going to fill up my water bottle, and I'll be back. Baker's causing trouble in the chair.
It's always the bakers.
Feeling a little bit gassy now. What's the gassiest you've ever been?
I don't know, like 2 days ago. No, that's not.
When you yelled at? Was that yesterday or Tuesday? Oh, your feet are hot.
I was on my feet a lot.
Yeah. All right. Say a yeah in the chat. We're ready to get started again. I'm waving. That's what Quinn requests when I start a new round. I'm waving. Say yeah in the chat. It's general trivia, 10 questions to end the day today. Oh, we got these yeahs rolling in. Nothing I like more than a yeah in the chat. Okay. Final round. 10 questions, general trivia, to end off the whole day. Question 1. What topical English word comes from the Greek for all people? Question number 1 again of this final round. What topical English word comes from the Greek for all people? Question number 2, final round. In 2012, who became the first female singer to have 3 consecutive singles reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100? Question number 2 again. In 2012, who became the first female singer to have 3 consecutive singles reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100? That wasn't a cough or a sneeze, that was a burp. To burp into my elbow. Question number 2 again. Maybe it's using this mic when I have my headphones plugged in. I guess I should use this mic. Question number 2. In 2012, who became the first female singer to have 3 consecutive singles reach number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100? Maybe you missed number 1. I don't know. Put number 1 in the chat for you. All right. Moving on to question number 3. Question 3. In economics, supply and demand curves are typically drawn with quantity on the x-axis. What variable is on the y-axis? Question 3 again. In economics, supply and demand curves are typically drawn with quantity on the x-axis. What variable is on the y-axis? This is a business question for Charlotte over here. Here comes question number 4, a sports question for you. Some of you like sports, some of you do not, but some of you like economics, some of you do not, so it's fair. Question 4. When asked about his political leanings, what athlete allegedly said, "Republicans buy sneakers too"? Do you want to read a question?
I don't have my glasses on. I can't read. Oh, you're already getting your beard back.
Yeah. Back slowly. This is my 2 days later shadow, my 48-hour shadow.
We only have 2 beers left.
Question number 4 again. Yeah, but it's an essential service. When asked about his political leanings, what athlete allegedly said, "Republicans buy sneakers too"?
I'm gonna just be lying in this bed.
Yeah, that's a good place for you.
I thought maybe I'd be laid off, but no, I think it's just gonna be forward.
You're laid on.
Like I'm
Question number 5. Question number 5. This one goes out to Mr. Jeff Baker, who requested a question about gourds, also dedicated to butter. Question 5. What musical instrument was based on traditional African instruments like the mumbanza and the kora, and was traditionally made of an animal skin stretched over a hollowed-out gourd? Gotta get those gourd questions in there, according to Mr. Baker.
Is this like a round in honor of our child?
Yeah, I guess it's in honor of our child. I don't know why he wanted gourd questions so badly. Question number 5 again. What musical instrument was based on traditional African instruments like the mbanza and the kora, and was traditionally made of an animal skin stretched over a hollowed-out gourd? I vow right now in front of all of you as my witnesses that I will never turn butter into a musical instrument. Do you make the similar vow?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was very non-committal sounding. All right. Question number 6, while you think about different instruments that could be made from gourds. Question 6. In addition to cut, color, and carat, what is the 4th C for evaluating a diamond's quality? Charlotte wants to know, would we ever turn butter into soup? Yeah, I guess if things get desperate enough. If the grocery store is shut? Yeah, for sure. Pro number 2 of having children, 1 is that they can give the Heimlich maneuver in the event that you choke. Number 2, they make a nice soup. Question number 6 again. In addition to cut, color, and carat, what is the 4th C for evaluating a diamond's quality? Do you believe the phrase diamonds are a girl's best friend? No, I don't either. Are you crushing?
No. Just catching up on massive stuff.
That's fair. Okay, here comes question number 7. First appearing in print in 1612, what does the term vantage loaf refer to in bread making? Question number 7 is a bread making question. Question 7. First appearing in print in 1612, what does the term vantage loaf refer to in bread making? Here's question number 8 of the final round, the penultimate question. What 2001 live-action movie was the first video game adaptation to gross over $100 million worldwide? Question number 8 again. What 2001 live-action movie was the first video game adaptation to gross over $100 million worldwide? Question number 9. What do you think about your favorite video game, live-action video game movies? Question number 9. What poem, written by Anglican clergyman John Newton, became a popular hymn after it was set to the tune of New Britain in 1835? Question number 9 again. What poem, written by Anglican clergyman John Newton, became a popular hymn after it was set to the tune of New Britain in 1835? Presumably New Britain was some sort of song that was popular at the time. Okay, one more time, question 9. What poem, written by Anglican clergyman John Newton, became a popular hymn after it was set to the tune of New Britain in 1835? What?
COVID memes.
What's the best one today?
No, just one of. I'm essential.
What is it that's essential?
It's who's that?
Oh, Ralph Wiggum?
Ralph in
Yeah, I like Ralph. Good character. Question 10, final question of the day. Oh, why did I write so many questions about French? Oh my gosh. Question 10. In French, what is it called when you pronounce a word's final consonant if the next word starts with a vowel, as in the phrase mes amis? Question number 10, again, another French question. In French, what is it called when you pronounce a word's final consonant if the next word starts with a vowel, as in the phrase mes amis? You can answer in French or you can translate it back into English. And, surprise, there is a bonus question for this round. For 1 bonus point, what do all of the answers have in common? Haha, I didn't tell you up front that there was a bonus question, but there is a theme. So for a bonus point, what connects all 10 of these answers? Let me know if you need any questions, numbers 1 to 10 repeated, as you try to put together what the theme is of this round. Okay, Michael wants to hear 6 and 7 again. Yes, it is unprecedented. Usually I tell you when there's going to be a theme beforehand, but now I'm telling you after. I'm telling you posthumously that there is something connecting all of the answers. All right, question number 3. In economics, supply and demand curves are typically drawn with quantity on the x-axis. What variable is on the y-axis? Question 6. In addition to cut, color, and carat, what is the fourth C for evaluating a diamond's quality? Question 7. First appearing in print in 1612, what does the term vantage loaf refer to in bread making? A vantage loaf, what is that? Question 8. What 2001 live-action movie was the first video game adaptation to gross over $100 million worldwide? The reason I specify live action is because technically the Pokemon movie earned more than $100 million worldwide. And that was animated. Question number 9. What poem, written by Anglican clergyman John Newton, became a popular hymn after it was set to the tune of New Britain in 1835? Question number 10. In French, what's it called when you pronounce a word's final consonant if the next word starts with a vowel, as in the phrase mes amis? And finally, for a bonus point, what connects all 10 of these answers? And just fire off a yeah in the chat when you're ready to hear the answers. Then I'll send out the Google form for you to submit your scores. Then we'll have the scores, we'll have the answers. We'll all know the winners, the losers. Right. Seeing some yes in the chat, which means you are almost ready to hear the answers. I'll wait for a couple more yes. Specifically, I want to hear Leah say yeah in the chat. She's usually the limiting reagents because she's conversing with all of her friends on some sort of chat software. A lot of you are in multiple chats at once. I think Meektastic is in multiple chats at once right now. But this is the chat that matters. Unless you're in chat with Katie, in which case that's probably more important because she's your intended. Ooh, Charlotte, an efficient businesswoman, just saying the letter Y. Yeah, what could the theme be? All right. Here come the answers. Get ready to mark your own scores or mark somebody else's. I don't know. Question 1. What topical English word comes from the Greek for all people? In Greek, all is pan, people are demos. This is the word pandemic. It's a topical word at the time, pandemic. Question number 2. In 2012, who became the first female singer to have 3 consecutive singles reach #1 on the Billboard Hot 100? This is a singer who she goes by the name Adele. Adele. Question number 3. In economics, supply and demand curves are typically drawn with quantity on the x-axis and price on the y-axis. Quantity and price. Question 4. When asked about his political leanings, what athlete allegedly said, "Republicans buy sneakers too"? This is Michael Jordan, famous sneaker endorser. Michael Jordan. Question number 5. What musical instrument is based on the African instruments the mbanza and the kora and can be made out of a gourd? This is a banjo. I read a lot about banjos and the North American slave industry today. Yep. Banjo can be made out of a hollowed out gourd. Question 6. What's the 4th C for evaluating a diamond's quality? It is cut, color, carat, and clarity. Clarity is the 4th C. Question number 7. First appearing in print in 1612, what does the term vantage loaf refer to in bread making? The vantage loaf, or presumably short for advantage loaf, is the 13th loaf in a baker's dozen. Any sort of description that gives that answer is fine, but you had to have something about it being in a baker's dozen. A vantage loaf refers to the 13th loaf in a baker's dozen. Okay. 2001 live action movie was the first video game adaptation to gross over $100 million. That is Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Grace, you're starting to pick up on what the theme might be. Well done, Grace. Question number 9. What poem written by John Newton became a popular hymn once it was set to the tune of New Britain? That's a song called Amazing Grace. It's a popular hymn set to the tune of New Britain. Amazing Grace. Yeah, I'll accept Tomb Raider. And finally, in French, what is it called when you pronounce a word's final consonant if the next word starts with a vowel? As in the phrase mes amis, that is liaison. Liaison, or liaison. I don't know. How do you say that word in English? Liaison. And the theme, for a bonus point, the answers are pandemic, Adele, Price, Michael Jordan, banjo, clarity, 13th loaf in a baker's dozen, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Amazing Grace, and liaison. I don't know how to ignore. Through your nose, ignore the end. Liaison. 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 Yeah, no hope for me. Anyway, the theme is that these answers all include the names of some of our most loyal trivia followers. So thank you to your support. Thank you for your support to Quinn Demick, Adele Strobel, Marie Price, Michael Young, Jordan Thiessen, Anjo Obile, Claire McDonald, Maddie Baker, Melissa Croft, Grace Bannerman, and Leah Cavazzotto. Thank you to all those people. And to the rest of you, thank you to John. Thank you to Siobhan. Thank you to Charlotte for coming out for the first time. Thank you, Jackie, for joining us today. Thank you, Kira. Oh, Kira, thank you for coming out. Who else is in the chat here? Thank you, whoever's on Leah's team and isn't sounding off in the chat. Thank you, Zuma, for coming and supporting. Can you all fill out your scores in this Google form, and then I'll collect the answers and I'll figure out who's the winner. Jeremy is here as well. Jeremy, yes, thank you, Jeremy, for your participation. I do remember Jeremy. I remember him. Kale is here. Kale was hiding. And Jacqueline. Jeremy and Jacqueline. J and J. Cool. Cool. Yes, Kale, thank you for lurking in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for letting me include your names in these trivia questions. By show of hands, who got the bonus question there? Who figured that out? Because some of you don't really know any of the other people. So, like, for example, Charlotte, I don't think you would have any chance of getting that question. And for that, I apologize. Just some terrible suggestions coming in for categories for next time. I do not want to write questions about World War II novels. That doesn't sound fun at all. Oh, thank you to Sophie for joining Team Unity. I'm seeing your scores, everybody's scores start to roll in here. I did not include a lot of your category suggestions from last time. I did include Maddie's suggestion of before and after. And I did include a question about gourds, as Mr. Baker requested. So most of the requests I received, I did honor. I did not include Quinn's request to play the song Schism by Tool. What did I make for dinner? I made chana masala. I already ate a bunch of it. Mari was nice and brought me some from the kitchen. Yes, I intended to make my before and afters harder because with the double down in play, I didn't want everyone just doubling down and getting 5 out of 5. What did you have for dinner is a good category idea. Let's see, I should do some mods on this spreadsheet so I can calculate your total scores. Then we can pick a winner and all that good stuff. All right. What do I gotta do here? Insert column. There you go. Do some Excel formulas here. Yep, that's what I want. Yep, good. Okay. So it was out of, I don't know, you could get approximately 40 points, but you could get more if you use different techniques. Let's sort this. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Sort based on column K from largest to smallest. Okay. All right. Ooh, looks like we have tie for second place, but we do have distinct winners. Okay. Yuck. No, it's not fermented shark meat. It's like curry chickpeas. Okay. Thank you everyone for playing. So first off, I want to thank you all for playing. Second off, I want to, thank you for your participation. I know it can be easy to get bored or be scared by the current times. But this trivia, it's a nice distraction for me. I hope it's a nice distraction for you. I hope you learned something new. I hope this forces you to keep using your brain for important tasks other than worrying about the world. And I want to encourage you again, as Claire reminded me last time, if you have the means to donate to any person who's even more disrupted by the current situation in the world, your help would be greatly appreciated. So if you can, as Jamie suggested, donate blood. I think maybe last week my 8 weeks was up, so I think I'm eligible to donate again. or donate to like a local food bank or women's shelter. Or if you have like a whole stash of N95s in your basement that you could donate to a hospital, consider doing that. Anyway, here's the results. So in third place this week, we have, oh shoot, there's a new team coming in. I gotta do their stuff. Okay. In third place, we have a tie. So it's technically a tie for second place between Team K-Town and Team Unity. So you can have a mix of the silver and bronze metals. We will melt them down and recombine them to make some sort of alloy that is halfway between silver and bronze. So congratulations to Teams Unity and Team K-Town for tying for second/third for second and a half place. And that means that our winner, drum roll please, is Team Squat Rack Memories. Congratulations. Give a round of applause to Team Squat Rack Memories. Michael, Katie, John, Chev, Jeremy, and Jacqueline. Well, that's a lot of people on a team. But most importantly, our last place team is Team Moorbert with some number of points. Team Moorbert, who submitted their score just at the end here, they lost out to Team Boss Ass Bitch Brigade by just one single point, which means Team Moorbert, you have won the prize of you get to choose a category that the winners have to write next week. So Team Moorbert, I'll get in touch with you about a category. You get to choose a category for next week. And our winning team, Team Squat Rack Memories, will have to write 5 questions on any category of your choosing. You can make it something fun. You can make it something terrible. It's up to you. You have all of the power. That's your prize for finishing in the honorable mention spot. Yes, of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors. What sponsors do we have here? We have Old Spice, 24-hour protection, Pure Sport. Other sponsors. We have this game, Sushi Go. It's a very fun game. If you ever want to play it, just let me know. I'll play Sushi Go with you. It's a good game. And finally, just before we sign off, here is a closing message from the working woman herself.
What? I'm texting my dad.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Say a yeah in the chat to sign off, but say it backwards because it's the end, like this. Say yeah backwards in the chat. No, backwards. You're supposed to say it backwards. No, everyone's saying it forwards. Okay, some of you are saying it backwards.
Bye, everybody. Gotta moisturize.
Yeah, moisturizing is important.
Oh wait, I need to clean my face.
Sure, what are you, 12? Okay, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, they're starting to see you.
Hey. Nice.
Oh, I guess I'll buy the butter as well.
I talked to my mother in the car for like 20 minutes.
Huh? How is she?
Pretty much just was like, I was like, as soon as my brother gets home, he will take a shower